Hello everyone, I'm your host, Cursed Valor, and in this video we're going to be talking about Cosmic Garou and his insane new power. Even just looking at Cosmic Garou, you can kind of get a sense of how just insanely strong he is from the fact that he's got galaxies circling inside of his body. But if you don't think that's an actual galaxy and just kind of like his appearance with stars floating around him, then you could say it's just kind of an indication of his cosmic nature. But you can also just say he literally has galaxies floating inside of him. And when Blast appears, Blast kind of explains to everyone that, yeah, he's possessed by a god, and everyone's confused, like, what, a god? Blast explains that Garou has a divine power that threatens the survival of all life on Earth, meaning he's potentially either a life wiper, or what, as we'll see later on in that chapter, a planet-busting threat. You can even say potentially greater. And just upon hearing that Garou's divine power can threaten everything on the planet, he just kind of looks at Blast and is like, yeah, why should I care? Which kind of speaks to how insane Garou is in strength, as when told that he can life wipe the planet, he just doesn't even really care and thinks it's just kind of like non-speak. And this power is so insane that Blast thinks he actually has to BFR Garou to a different dimension in order to keep him and everyone else safe from Garou's power, which should speak volumes to how strong Garou is, as not just moving him to the moon or moving him to a different planet is enough. Blast has to think he actually has to move him to a different dimension in order to keep everyone safe, which if you really try to reach for it, you could say actually is perhaps even like a multiversal level feat, as if Blast thinks nowhere in the universe is safe from Garou's power or his passive death hacks type energy, and that he has to move him to a different universe, that might actually just be a universal feat. And it's kind of shown that like almost all of these A-class and S-class heroes are just like dying in the presence of Garou and just kind of getting bitched. And even Blast like looks at Garou and he's like, damn, this power, it's incomplete. But what if it was complete? And just starts sweating and is actually kind of nervous around a Garou that's just kind of standing there looking at them. He's like, I need to test to see if I can beat this god. And Garou just kind of laughs at him. He's like, yeah, divine power, that's really cool. I have passive death hacks. And Garou just kind of brands himself as a god level threat. And then Bangs tries to stop Garou, and Blast just kind of turns to him and says, listen, if you go there, you're gonna get bodied. And Bang doesn't even really seem to care and is still ready to try and scrap with Garou. And Garou's not even focused on him, he's more concerned about the child in his past, rather than Bang, one of the strongest S-class, ready to try and square it with him, which should give you a pretty good estimation of how strong he is, just casually standing there. Garou even withstands an off-guard headbutt from Genos, as even when just kind of standing there in his own head, reminiscing about this 4-year-old in his past, Genos just kind of rams into his chest and he barely moves, kind of just leans back a bit. He's like, oh, wow, that's cool. You're like Saitama's apprentice, right? Yeah, that makes sense. He seems really dismissive of Genos, someone who's already shown in the past to be extremely powerful. Blast even has to go so far as to start using Dimension Cannon to try and fight Garou, and starts manipulating his kind of perception in the sense that he keeps teleporting him everywhere, trying to throw him off just to fight him, and starts bashing him in the back of the skull. But Garou seems to just quickly, almost instantly actually, adapt to this and just breaks out of it. He's like, yeah, that's really cool, I see. Pulls out Nuclear Fission, Fist of Gravity, which he just copied from Blast after seeing it like once, and starts throwing hands with Blast. And Blast feels just the need to teleport these fists away from him, which kind of implies that he doesn't think his raw body itself can actually take those attacks. And we kind of see in that page that the background, there's just kind of nuclear blasts going off from Garou's punches. And this Garou probably isn't even going all out, just kind of toying with everyone, seeing as how dismissive he seemed. As right after this, Blast is like, what, this power could actually blow away the entire planet? And Garou's just kind of like thinking about Saitama instead, and he's like, oh yeah, I mean, you're at S-class rank 1, that's cool and all, but I don't really care about you. Which just kind of dismisses Blast's power. Someone who Tatsumaki was like, yeah, that guy would solo all of the S-class. Tatsumaki herself being able to lift the entire continent up, and Blast being able to shift dimensions like that. It goes a pretty long way in showing how strong Cosmic Garou is. Cosmic Garou himself even believing that he might actually be able to even copy a full-strength Saitama's power. And if you think Saitama is a gag character, obviously he's going to copy that as well. Which means that if you were to put, say, Garou against someone like Arale, who knows, maybe you could actually say that he just copies the gag abilities of Arale and just starts beating her up, which would be kind of tragic to see a full-grown man with the powers of God beating the shit out of a small child. And Garou just kind of casually one-shots Genos. Right as Saitama arrives too, which brings out this new emotion in Saitama, it seems. Saitama seems really depressed at that and gets super, almost bloodlusted in a sense, and throws out a serious punch, and Garou just kind of copies that. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, my guy. Only after seeing half of a serious punch, not even the full serious punch, he's able to enter Saitama mode, copy the serious punch, and throw it back at Saitama, matching his speed, it seems, or maybe even possibly surpassing it. It'd be weird for Saitama to be holding back here, but you could still say he is. But if he's not, then you might actually be able to say Cosmic Garou is actually equal to full power Saitama from this one page. Naturally, we need to see the next chapter to confirm if that's the case, as Saitama might actually just one-shot him. But from the way it stands on this chapter, it definitely seems like Cosmic Garou is equal to Saitama, especially with Blast considering their energy to just vaporize the planet. So Cosmic Garou is without a doubt definitely a planetary level being, and on the other extreme end, you could say he's universal, which wouldn't be too far a stretch if you think that the galaxies inside of Garou are actually galaxies and not just some sort of his appearance, kind of like an outfit, I guess you could say. But that'll do it for me. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more One Punch Man content in the future. My name is Cursed Fella, and I'll see you all next time.